Once there was a snail who lived a slow, peaceful life under a big, shady stone. Sometimes he would go for a walk, leaving a slimy silver trail after him. At others he would climb up the side of his big stone, withdraw into his shell and go to sleep, provided the sun was not too hot. Often a passing beetle would stop to chat, or a frog would rest by the stone to pass the time of day. But then the beetle would scuttle away quickly, or the frog would remember something he had to do and leap off into the grass. Whenever the snail went out for a walk, even only as far as the dandelion patch a few yards away, it took him ages. Other insects and animals were always running past him so quickly that they had gone before he could turn around. The snail thought to himself, "I don't know why all these creatures are in such a rush, but I am clearly getting left behind. I am missing all the other exciting things that happen to others because I am too slow. There is only one thing for it," he said to himself. "I must speed up." So the snail decided to go on an adventure beyond the dandelion patch in search of someone who could tell him how to move faster. "No time like the present," he said, and off he set immediately, as fast as he could crawl, on his important mission. The snail crawled and crawled past the dandelion patch and on through the grass until he was quite out of breath and stopped to rest for a bit. As he was resting, a bumblebee flew busily to a nearby yellow toadflax flower. "Excuse me," called the snail, "can you help me?" "I'm very busy," said the bumblebee. "Solitary insects like me, without a hive of workers to help, never stop." "I just wondered," the snail asked, "whether you knew how I could learn to move faster so that I can catch up with life instead of being left behind all the time." The bumblebee thought for a moment. "I think you will have to move your wings faster," she said. "But I haven't got wings," said the snail. "No wings? Then you've got a problem," said the bumblebee. "Sorry I can't stop, but I must fly on to the next flower." And off she went. "Well, she wasn't much help," the snail said. "I'd better continue with my adventure and find someone else to ask." So off he went again, leaving a silver, slimy trail behind him. But before he had gone very far, a grasshopper landed beside him with a sudden thump. "Oh, excuse me," said the grasshopper. "I must be more careful where I land." "That's quite all right," the snail replied. "If I could move faster, I would have been able to get out of your way. Can you help me? If you could tell me how to get about more quickly, I'd be very grateful." "You need to exercise your jumping legs every day," the grasshopper said. "Then you will be able to leap about anywhere you want." "I'm afraid that's out of the question," the snail answered. "I haven't got any jumping legs, unless you can tell me how to grow some." "No jumping legs? You poor thing," said the grasshopper. "In that case, I can't assist you, I'm afraid." And he leapt over some tall grass and disappeared. "Well," said the snail, "he was no help either. I'd better go on my way and find someone else to advise me." So off he went, leaving a silver, slimy trail behind him. The snail crawled on until he suddenly came face to face with an ant who was running along the path towards him. "Hello," said the snail. "Who are you?" "I'm a worker ant," she said, "and I'm busy searching for food for the other workers in my nest." "If you are not too busy," said the snail, "could you help me, please? You see, I'm very slow and life is passing me by all the time, Please tell me how I can go faster and catch up with things." "Well," said the ant, "I advise you to take care of your feet. I've got 6 of them and run about on them all over the place." The ant waggled her legs to show off her feet. "Only now I come to think of it," she added, "you don't seem to have any feet, which must be very awkward for you." "You're right," the snail answered. "I have no feet at all, not even one, no legs to put them on." "Well, what about that big lumpy shell you are carrying on your back?" the ant suggested. "If you got rid of that, you would be much lighter and could go much quicker." "I'm afraid I live inside the shell," said the snail. "I couldn't get rid of it even if I wanted to, not nohow." The ant rubbed her antennae together. "I can't think of anything else to suggest," she said. "Sorry, but I must go now. I've spent too much working time talking already." And she ran off as fast as she could on her 6 feet. "Even that nice ant wasn't any help," said the poor snail. "But I won't give up yet. Surely there will be someone who can tell me what to do." And off he crawled again, leaving a silver slimy trail behind him. He crawled for hours over grass and mud, past stalks and buttercups and under stinging nettles, until suddenly the ground became hard beneath him and stopped like a cliff above a sea of black tarmac. He had come to the edge of a pavement, above a busy road, and along it rushed a stream of traffic, cars, lorries, vans and buses, going at a tremendous speed. The noise was terrible, louder than anything he had ever heard. "What on earth," the snail wondered, "am I to do now?" "You seem to have a problem," said a voice. "Can I help?" The snail swiveled his eyes, and there beside him he saw a long, thin, beady-eyed lizard. "Yes, please," the snail replied. "I need someone to advise me on how I can get to the other side of this," and he nodded towards the road. "Ah," said the lizard, "I see you are new here. This is a road that has been made by human beings, and these things that rush along it making a noise are cars and traffic." "Well," said the snail, "I need to get to the other side of it because I am searching for someone who can tell me how to go faster. You see, I move very slowly and life is just passing me by." "Unless you can run or jump very fast, or better still fly, I wouldn't even try to cross this road," said the lizard. "And why do you want to move quickly anyway? You don't need to chase your food. You can just chew on a leaf when you are hungry. You don't have to build a nest or find a hole to live in. You carry your home around with you." The lizard tapped the snail's stripy brown shell. "In fact, you are lucky enough not to need to move quickly at all. You can just take it easy and think about things all day if you want to." "I never thought of it that way," the snail replied. "Besides," the lizard said, "those of us who rush about do so because we have to in order to live, even if we are tired and would rather have a rest." "If you put it like that, I suppose I am lucky," said the snail thoughtfully. "Perhaps I should go back to my nice shady stone and not bother about being slow. Thank you very much, you wise lizard. You have solved my problem for me." "Don't mention it," the lizard replied. "Goodbye, and take care going home." So off went the snail back to his stone, leaving a silver slimy trail behind him. It was a long, slow, tiring journey, but as he crawled along he thought about his adventure. I am slow and thoughtful, and that is how I'll stay. I shall never fly or run, he said as he finally reached his stone. But from tomorrow I will spend my time thinking, learning, and trying to understand things instead of trying to move faster. And he went back into his shell and fell asleep, because adventures are often very tiring. The moon rose and the stars shone. The breeze stirred the leaves in the peaceful night, and the snail dreamed a dream about quiet streams and grass, buttercups and gentle sunshine, with no thought of busy roads or did anything quickly.